I'll tell you what, Phil Roy shared something on the podcast. It made me laugh a lot. And it's one of them things that just stuck in my head. And today I've been going about my business or working and doing a workout, and it just keeps popping in my head. He basically said, I'm backstage. Obviously, it's a big thing, right? It's a big experience. And he said, there is some massage people over in the corner. And I didn't want to go over because I thought I had to pay a tenner. But he found out it was free. Mate, I was in absolute stitches. He's like sniffing around. Have I got to pay for it? Is it free? But it was all free. And he was going on about the snacks and the drinks. Honestly, it was brilliant, mate. So funny. Welcome back, Chase Payne Podcast. Today we've got Brian Friend back on. This is your second time here. You came back. It couldn't have been as bad as what I thought last time, maybe.
I didn't find it bad at all. No, Cam Gray.
No,
It was a fun
great.
show.
It was great. Today's a little bit different. I'm sure you're very excited as well, and the listeners are excited. French Throwdown this weekend, semi-finals, stacked field. It's incredibly stacked field. Obviously, we can't go without saying straight away, Jayson Hopper's travelled over to go there. But before we go into any of that, I would really like to just touch on WFP London Source Got 1. Obviously, I'm an hour from London. As you know, I didn't make it there. I was on holiday and got back late from Egypt, so I couldn't make it. Absolutely gutted. I had Phil Roy and Tom Kingdom on the podcast a couple of days ago, released that today. They shared some incredible stories about their time at WFP. They thoroughly enjoyed the experience. I won't ruin it for you. Feel free to go and listen to it. But from your point of view, Brian, overall, how the weekend go, buddy?
I think it was a successful weekend, all things told. I mean, the only negative thing that I've seen coming out of it was just the attendance on site. Other than that, and it's just kind of like the nature of humanity, I guess. Like when there's 9 good things and there's one bad thing, everyone wants to talk about the bad thing.
Yeah. And it was a bit surprising. I mean, there's always good turnouts in the UK. It's obviously a huge thing, but there was a lot going on that weekend as well. And it was a late notice. So, there aren't no excuses for it, and it is what it is. But the actual show itself, I watched it on YouTube when I was traveling, and on a Sunday. The occasion, the lights, I've said it before, it really seemed to create that atmosphere that, from an athlete's point of view, they absolutely thrived on, and maybe they're not used to, and they're not under the lights, and they're getting that opportunity, right?
Absolutely. And you mentioned 2 guys that are amongst the best in the UK, but they've not been on a stage like that.
Yeah.
And Will Morad has kind of been calling it like the greatest show in fitness or something like that, is like a new little one-liner that he's throwing out there. And I think that is what we're trying to create. And all the athletes who come there, whether it's their first time or their 20th time on a stage like that, or 50th time in a case like Pat Vellner, BKG, Yonakoski, like we want them to feel like it means something.
Yeah.
But a part of that is the spectators and is getting people in the stands. And yes, there were a lot of variables stacked against us this week, from the late change to the weather to the venue location to ticket prices to bank holidays, like all those things. But we want to create a product that's so appealing eventually that even with all those things lined up on the same weekend, if that was the case again, that people would still want to show up.
Yeah.
And it's you mentioned the athletes. Like a friend of mine once said to me, running a competition is finding that perfect balance between taking care of the athletes and giving them a stage to perform on. And both things are important, and both things need to be nurtured. And I think they also can like lend to each other, right? You take care of the athletes more, they perform better. You give them a better, cooler, more unique stage. Same thing. So,
But it just goes to show that those little things do make a difference to people.
I mean, I don't think that it pops up all the time, but like the tagline of WFP from the inception has been "People matter more,"
Yeah.
And I think that in the big picture, like if you really want to exemplify that, that it's in the details. And
Mm.
so I know that obviously I know all the people on our team at the executive level, the team leads, and I see how much attention to detail the women in this case who are overseeing all of the volunteers are putting into their experience, from the way they communicate to them to they show up to what they get, how what they get on a daily basis. Is food provided? And sometimes it's crazy, but sometimes basic human necessities are neglected in certain competition environments because there's so many other things going on that you just don't, like, it falls through the cracks. And
Yeah.
WFP's trying their best, I know most competitions are, to make sure that that doesn't happen regardless of who you are showing up on site. So we understand that, like, not having the spectators there at the capacity that obviously we were prepared for with the size of the bleachers affects a lot of different groups of people. So that's something that we're immediately talking about.
And it and it is uh, it's all progression as well. Like, it is a building block, and it is always trying to improve as you go forward. But as you improve and go forward, what will happen? It will bring different problems and different areas you got to problem solve. That's all part of the journey, isn't it? And I think it isn't just listen to be perfect straight away. No,
Or maybe ever. I mean, is anything
yeah,
ever
it's
perfect,
evolution.
really?
It just keeps you want to keep improving. It's like I just view it as any business, and a lot of people have asked me a lot about WFP and my thoughts on it and how they started. And it's just like, well, it's just a business. You want to try and be the best when you start, and that's just my perception of it. But the evolution and going forward, then. So let's say it is in a position because the magic of WFP is kind of you really give the opportunity to those semi-final athletes that are just on the cusp of that wave of making the games, right? And also top games athletes as well. But that challenger division is a spectacle. And it's
Oh yeah.
really given them the opportunity, like we said at the start, to go in there and feel like a professional for that weekend because they're competing with everyone around them in the stadium. So you're giving them that experience. What if you do get to the point where all the major athletes want to come to WFP first 100%, and it's the first port of call, and now it is really deep? That will provide, I guess, a nice problem to have, because then you're going to have an even more stacked field of pros. The pros coming in will knock out some of the current pros. That might filter down into the challenger division, and maybe it might then, again, just my opinion from an outside looking in, it might just change that magic of it, where you haven't got that top semi-final athlete anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and it's actually a perfect topic for today as well with the French Throwdown, because what we
Yeah,
have at the French Throwdown, especially on the men's side, is basically all of Europe that's chosen not to do WFP. Whereas at WFP London, you had like all of the Europeans that have chosen to do
yeah,
WFP, and we're only talking about Europe in that sentence, not even factoring in the fact that there's a big group of North American and Australian, especially men, that also aren't doing WFP this year, that are kind of getting dispersed to different semis, and some of them will descend upon the games later this summer. Um, so it's like this kind of like the more it spreads out, the more opportunity there is for different athletes to rise within different fields, to earn bigger prize purses within different fields. And then the more it condenses, the less and at the same time, then you have those bottom halves of the field being populated by athletes that might never get on that stage otherwise.
hmm
But then when they all compress back together, then there's no room for the up and comers. So regardless of the layout of the landscape of the sport and the way that it inevitably ebbs and flows over time, you want to have marquee events that the best in the world are pursuing, but you also need to have stepping stone events to provide meaningful platforms for those athletes to get on a floor against some of the best and see how good they actually are, how well they respond to those environments, which are different than a local competition. But which competitions are which? I think at this point in our history, like, that's what's changing a little bit, with one
yeah,
exception, which is the CrossFit Games. It's maybe Rogue. Like, those are the two that, like, it's very difficult in elite to get into it. But even at those fields, you have seen people come through, for example, the Rogue Challenger, that are like, they get there and they're not relevant against the top athletes in the world. And at the games, same thing. Like, the bottom half to maybe third of the field this year, they're not going to be able to make much impact. But that's okay. Like that's going to happen too.
Tom Kingdom was saying the biggest takeaway from this weekend was that opportunity to be under the lights, to get the feeling and that atmosphere of, wow, this is not a local competition. It's not just a UK competition. And of course, he's done Water Blues and things, but on this scale, he says he needs to put himself in this position as many times as possible, because there's only so much fitness you can improve on, but actually there are other areas that you can improve on, which is down to experience, first day nerves, first day workout. Like, and he explained on the podcast, guys, go listen to the episode. It was blooming brilliant. He explains how he felt. And also at the end of day one, he didn't want to go back for day two. He's like, I can't do this. Like, it was really inspiring what he was saying, and then how he dealt with that. Yeah, really good. But point I'm making, he needs these opportunities. He wants these opportunities. So tour stop 2, hopefully in Macon, and then you go to the final, and then you got the money. Like, they were both quite open about it. Like, there's a chance to go and get some money. He was looking at the leaderboard. Where can I get some money? And then
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a ton of opportunities, and I don't actually know what the payout is at French Throwdown this weekend. But the likelihood is that whether you're making in the third, fourth, or fifth range, that you're going to get the same payout as you get as 30th place at WFP.
yeah,
And it's not a crazy paycheck, $1,500, but $1,500 for taking 30th is unheard of.
expenses, right?
If you get the pro card, that's what a lot of the pros are talking about. If you listen to our first year signed pro series, is I don't have to do the qualifiers. I don't have to pay for my flights and hotels. Like, this is completely different than what I'm used to. It takes stress away, which means you can focus more on training. And that's also where you can find the margins to improve that's necessary against fields like this.
Yeah, and that is a big win. And I mean, a lot of people have spoken about that, so that is a huge win.
Well, but it is, and then it isn't, because there's other people. And like I said, a lot of the people in this field we're going to look at for French Throwdown, that's not a big enough draw for them,
Mm.
because they're still wanting the dream of
Yeah,
calling themselves a games athlete, or a 2 times games athletes, or 3 times. And that's
and
more
it's a nice thing.
important.
Listen, it's got a big ring to it, and it is what it is. But I'm always a big believer of everyone's got their own motivation, whatever suits them, crack on. And as long as they're going in and they're staying fit and they're going to push themselves to be the best that they can be, and if that's what they think, no problem, no problem. Just not changing the subject, but jumping towards an event. I do want to mention Phil Roy deadlift, 645 pounds. He describes the moment brilliantly, and for him, when you can perform, and then you
Mhm.
actually go and step up and deliver. That was a really big moment for him. And they were also saying about what WFP have done has actually given them a chance to put their name out there. You talk
Right.
about sponsors, you talk about followers, you talk about social media. The airtime they got was great. And they were very, very thankful for that. They got airtime, interviews. You had Tom Kingdom racing against Pat Bowner. And it was a lot was made of that. For Tom, it was like, well, he's done it before, but it was great visuals. And I think that was a really good scene, a challenger taking on Pat Bowner. I think it was great. So
Well,
these big things.
that's good to hear. I mean, that's something that Will has talked about from the onset also, is that majority of the money that he earned throughout his career was through sponsorships, partnerships, with brands.
Yep,
Obviously, you got to get onto the stage to get some kind of recognition,
of course you
but
do.
a lift like that from Philroy, that could, that could change his life. Like,
Yeah,
you just don't know who's watching
exactly.
that sees that guy that's like,
Exactly.
that guy's perfect for our brand.
And he honestly, he knew that opportunity was there as well. And I love the fact that he knew that, and he walked on the floor and he spoke about the lights coming on. And it's like, he didn't even know what was on the bar because it was in pounds, Brian. He didn't even know. He just said, stick it on. And he just lifted it. It was honestly absolute gold TV footage. So no, it was great. Really good. So overall, you know, it's not always going to be a perfect weekend, but from your point of view, successful.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And that's what we're doing here. We want to celebrate the athletes. and I've always wanted to celebrate the athletes and the competitions that people are putting on so that they can perform. And I think that we did that very well.
Yeah, cool, cool. Um, moving on to this weekend, the French Throwdown. Then, so we're here for the top 10 females, males, athletes competing this weekend. It is a stacked field, isn't it? To begin with, let's just look at the overall field. Absolutely stacked.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you that like in the middle of the field, so this is like 20 out of I think close to 40 that they have, you're gonna find names like Elena Caratalla and Tommaso Pieri and Guillaume Briand, like people who are best in their country sometimes, like they're in the middle of this field.
Yeah.
When you said it was a loaded field, I actually put a poll out a week or so ago comparing the Syndicate Crown men's field to the French Throwdown men's field. And of course, I have people who look at my stuff will come from both Europe and North America, and I think it's fairly split, so I didn't feel like there was a huge bias there compared to
Okay.
potentially other media outlets. It was still like a 2/3, 1/3 vote for Syndicate Crown, but I had a couple coaches message me like, is this a joke? Like, obviously Syndicate is stronger. And I said, I think there's 14 past games athletes in the men's side and only 10 at Syndicate Crown, 14 at French and 10 at Syndicate. So the top of Syndicate is probably stronger. But the depth of French down to like 15 to 20 are athletes that can middle. And when you're
They can take
evaluating
points away from people, can't they? That's the thing, isn't it?
yeah. So
Mm.
the intentionality of the word deeper was a little bit allowing the person interacting with it to decide if they wanted to assess that to there's really like 8 guys that should be at the games in a Syndicate and only 3 spots. Maybe there's only like 4 or 5 at French, but there's like 10 guys that could make an impact on any given workout
Mm.
beyond that. So anyway, it's a strong field.
It is a strong field. And, you know, I'm going to make this clear right now. We had a conversation before we came live, not live, but recording. I'm in no way trying to say my knowledge is as deep or as meaningful as yours on this. I've got good local knowledge. Love CrossFit. I love fitness in general, and I'm going to share with you my honest thoughts. Now, I always wonder when you do these as well. Like, I know you've got a lot of the knowledge just in conversation, but how much of a deep dive do you go into for this top 10? Is it just like off the top of your head, this is what I think? Or do you actually go and do a bit of digging and diving into it?
It depends on the competition, depends on the field, and also the time of the year. So this year for semifinals, I'm not putting a ton of super deep analytical attention to it
And my
because
5 hours of research then.
well, the reason why is because I don't even know how many semis there are. They all have different programming. The fields are constantly changing, and the field matters a lot when you're talking about the nuance of making a pick. Like, you know, we can look, for example, and see you know, an athlete like Harry Lightfoot compared to Callum Clements.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know which one of those guys is fitter. And it might not actually show itself this weekend. What might show itself is, ooh, the field was a lot better at things that Callum was good at than Harry. So when he had a good performance, Harry took a bigger hit. When Harry had a good performance, there wasn't a lot of good guys at that discipline. So Callum he lost to him by 2 minutes. Well, he beat him at 2 minutes at this, but he only gave away 3 spots, whereas Harry gave away 10 because the field just happens to be better at different things. I don't have the time to look through all the different programming for semifinals and the constantly changing fields to try to make a meaningful interpretation of how the workouts plus the field are going to affect the small differences at the cut lines, which is 3 for French Throwdown. Like that's, you know,
Yeah.
all the people that we're talking about today, they are going there for one reason, and that's to qualify for the CrossFit Games. There's a bunch of people in this field that they might say that, but they have no chance at that. And they're just going there to get experience, to call themselves a semifinalist. They're not trying to win money. They're not trying to go to the games. They're just going because this is the biggest competition that they can get into this year.
You've made a great introduction. Now I think we should get started.
Okay.
So we're going to go females first. So I want to make this clear. So we, I said, don't send me your top 10. I won't send you mine. We just have a conversation about it. That way, I think it's got a bit more legitimacy behind it. I can't say I've copied you, Brian, basically. I can just, have that clarity. But no, so we're also going to we'll start off with the surprise package for the females. So one athlete that you think is going to attend and might be a surprise package. So do you want to go first, buddy? Surprise package, not a top 10, but someone you think is going to attend and actually might surprise a few people.
Yeah, it's a woman that I've actually invited to be on our podcast because this season has been extremely notable to me. It's Morgan Thissens out of Belgium. Morgan was fifth worldwide in the Open this year. She improved by a couple hundred spots at quarterfinals, and she was 15th at WFP London out of a field of 50. She didn't get hardly any airtime with us there because she finished in the top 3 on the final workout that propelled her way up there. But especially against deep fields, having the ability to do well, which you have to do well on deep fields if you want to have top 5 Open, top 100 quarterfinals, top 30 in Europe, I think, and also top 15 at WFP. So she's a young athlete, 23 years old out of Belgium, who I don't have in the top 10, but I think that is a name you'll want to know over the next couple of years.
Nice, nice. So I'm going to go with, I can't pronounce the surname overly well. So it's Julia Blazowska, I think.
Yeah, not
So
bad.
on again, it's just someone I actually like us on Instagram, and I see the hard work that's going in, and I just also feel as though she really deserves the opportunity to go out there and deliver. And I hope she takes the opportunity and pushes forward with it really, and it shows off her skill sets. It shows off her skill sets, and it's one to watch and look out for, and maybe someone that gets middle ground, gets in between different people on certain events. So yeah, and I like Julia. My 10th place, again, it's really hard. Between 10 and 6 and 5, they're all hard. It's such a much of a muchness, and I found it really tricky. I think I maybe looked into it a bit too much on certain things. I've got an addictive personality. So in 10th position, I'm going to put Jenny Muir, experienced competitor. She's very efficient. She's tactical. She's going to be smart across the whole weekend. And I feel as though, yeah, gymnastics is strong. Yeah, that is my top 10. That's my number 10. Who's yours?
So do you want me to tell you where I have Jen or who my actual 10 is?
Tell me who your 10 is.
At 10th place, I have a youngster from Ireland, Lucy McGonigal.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy's great. I ranked her actually inside the top 20 globally. But I think that this is a particularly difficult field for her. And she's someone that when she gets to the games like she did last year, she'll generally do better against the field over a 10 plus scored event. Against 5 or 6 workouts, I think that sometimes she can struggle to get enough top finishes to stay relevant against some of the more experienced athletes.
Okay, so Brian, if my number 10 is not in your top 10, then share it with me.
Okay.
So was she in your top 10, my number 10?
Yes.
Okay, don't say no more. Your number 10 was also in my top 10.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go 9 now. So I'm going to go Elena Caratala. Such an aggressive race style. She's really dangerous at short output events. Thrives on unbroken movement patterns. For me, again, 9, 8, 7. I've put her at 9th. Who is your 9th?
I have her 21st, by the way, so not
Oh,
even close to the top 10.
okay.
And in 9, I have Vor Thurman Mo, one of the Norwegian girls that had a top 10 finish at WFP London.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I have her in my top 10. So number 8, you can go first this time. Number 8.
Another Norwegian here, I have Leah Storen. She was outside the top 10 at WFP, but I see her sneaking into the top 10 here.
I also have Leah Storen.
At 8th?
Well-rounded. Yeah, I've got her number 8 as well. Well-rounded competitor. Collecting top 10 finishes. She doesn't make big mistakes. And yeah, I'm hoping that she'll be there. Perfect. There's one match. You know what? When I see that one's match draws, I feel as though I'm there and thereabouts, you know?
You
Yeah,
said it though. This is a very difficult
it's tough.
field. And I mean, even looking at this, I'm like, oh man, do I have War too low? Like, you just start second guessing. But
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm gonna go with number 7.
go ahead. That's it. That you
That
have War at number 7.
correct.
I kind of like that actually a little better than where I have her, just because her weaknesses aren't really in this competition.
Mhm.
Now I'm looking at the workouts a little bit more. No handstand push-ups.
Yep.
I don't even. Are there even ring muscle-ups?
Oh, I don't I I can't remember the workouts. I haven't got them
No,
written
it's
down.
bar muscle-ups. It's thrusters and burpees. It's dumbbell bench and rope climbs. Like,
And she's
this is
strong.
as good of a
She's
competition as
strong.
you get for her. I
Good range
actually
of
think
motion.
that she's possibly a threat to
I moved her
top
from
5.
4th. I moved her from 4th, actually. I moved her back to 7. It's gonna be it gets tight. It gets tight. So who's your number 7?
7, I have Manon Angonis.
Okay.
I think she'll do better here in the semifinal setting than she did in London with the WFP. But I also think that she's kind of at a stage of her career where she needs to prove that she can be relevant, top 10 in a field like this, because she's starting to drift back a little bit.
I've got Matilda on Garnez.
Her mom will be very happy that you said her middle name.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good news.
Hmm? Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm actually I've watched her a lot. I think she's great. Yeah, really,
So
really.
you just stacked up the Norwegians in 7, 8, 9 or whatever.
Yeah,
6, 7, 8.
but they're strong. They're strong athletes. You know, I'm a massive fan of them. I am. Okay,
So
that's 6.
I actually have Jen Muir at 6.
Oh,
So
sorry, sorry.
that rounds
Do
out my
you?
6 through 10.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I think this is again a very good competition for her. A lot of the workouts have a little bit of that kind of athletics feel to me, with the front squats, the
Yeah.
long endurance, and then some just kind of like cyclical pain cave stuff with no real complex gymnastics. So that's perfect for her. I think that this is as
I hope
good
so.
of a draw as she could get from a programming perspective.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, number 5. Previous year's champ, Elisa Felino.
I have Matilda Oyen Garnis at 5, so I
Oh,
have her a
okay.
little higher than you do, but only one spot off, so pretty similar there.
Yeah, yeah. So what are your thoughts? So last year's champ, I've got her at 5. I mean, have you got her in?
She's on my list.
Okay, I'll leave it there. We'll move on. I wonder why you didn't say anything. Okay, so let's go to 4. So my number 4, before we hit the tickets, just so everyone knows, me and Brian Tho will be confirming who's getting the tickets to the games from the French Throwdown. No, so at number 4, great engine. Workout 1 and 3 could be huge for her. I've got Var Thurman Mo.
Oh, you did move War all the way up to number 4.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you had her at 7. Who do you have at 7?
No, at 7 I had Van Roar.
Oh, Miriam Van Roor.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Van Roar. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect, because I have Miriam Van Roor at 4.
It's all these names
Hey,
they're doing us.
Miriam Van Roor. Look, this woman is very unique in our space. She finished inside the top 10 at the games last year. She qualified online, which is, I think she's a safe bet to pick for online semis if she doesn't make it through a live qualifier, but I think she's good enough to be in the mix here. I have her one spot out, and that's but I think that she's I think she's going to be in the battle for sure. She's going to win the front squat.
Yeah.
The thrusters burpees she could win. The long one at the beginning, she should do well. I don't know if she'll win it with all the rowing, but she should do well on that at the very least. She's a great runner. And then we'll see. I'm really curious about the bench press workout for her.
Yeah, time will tell. It'd be exciting. It'd be a fun one to watch. So at number 3, who have you got, Brian?
I've got an athlete in number 3. I kind of feel like you might have the same person here. Let's see. I have Claudia Gluck,
Yes.
hometown hero. I think she sneaks a game spot here. If you watch her at Mayhem, she did
Yeah,
bad on the run, and she'll do bad on the running workout here for sure.
yeah,
But she would have been relevant in those game spots at Mayhem if not for the miscalculation on Gwen.
uh-huh.
There's no workout quite like that here. I think all the rest of the workouts are very good for her, and I think that we saw probably the best form or second best form we've ever seen of her at the French Throwdown 2 years ago in Lyon. I think we're going to see something like that again.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. But yeah, so got Gluck at number 3, and I watched her at Mayhem, and I was really impressed. And I think heavy front squats. Yeah, I think she's going to smash it. It's a big weekend for her. I think after Mayhem, it's a big weekend for her. Okay,
I'm looking at the list here, and I'm thinking that you have a person at 2 that I don't even have in my top 10.
maybe, just maybe.
My number 2 is already showed up on your list. That's Elisa Fuliano. I think that she is just incredibly consistent at these competitions. I believe she qualified twice for the games last year in similar style competitions and fields. She's extremely well-rounded. I think, unlike some of the other athletes that I mentioned, like Lucy McGonigal, that this format is her best format. 6 workouts, 3 days, high intensity. This is where she gets it done. So I think she's an athlete that if you're coming into this field wanting or believing you can take a games ticket, you know that she's one of the athletes you have to beat.
Fair one. Well, number 2, I've got Lucy.
Oh, McGonigal.
Yeah,
So I did mention her.
yeah.
So our top 10 are almost identical.
Just
You just had Elena Caratala, and I did not.
yeah. But no,
Um,
I think she's going to have a fantastic weekend. Strong gymnastics. I feel as though she's got. I think she's strong. I like the bench press workout for her personally. I'm a big fan. And I hope she goes and crushes it. So number 1, there can
well,
only be.
there's only one athlete in this field that's actually a podium threat for the games. That's actually won major competitions. That's actually I would say the same thing on the men's field when we get over there, but this is a cut above the rest of the field, and it's clearly Amy Kringle.
I haven't got Amy. I'm joking. Of course I have. Of course I have. Representing the UK. Of course I have.
Now, the interesting thing about Amy is she has now strung together 4 consistent, impressive performances at WFP. That's a stage that she seems to dominate, thrive in, and own. She has not shown the same level of excellence in the game season yet. She didn't have a podium finish there last year where she did at all the WFP events, and she just won London. Semifinals wise, it's like more comparable to a WFP tour stop. Like, this is a format that she should dominate against these women. And this is just like when people say business trip, like I'm like, is it really a business trip? Like, I think there's more to it. But for Amy, that's what this is. This is go there, take care of business. So I don't have to waste any more time on that. I have enough important things to do. And for Amy in the game season, the real challenge is, can you move up the rankings in the top 10 at the games? Because you've shown that you can beat Emma Lawson, Laura Horvath, Lucy Campbell, everyone at other competitions. Can you do it at the games? So Amy needs to not think about that right now. She needs to just go there, execute, get what she came for, leave, and then go and address that next concern.
I think she's hitting levels that she hasn't hit before, and I think she is going to go to the games. And she's my pick to make the podium out of the women. She is, and I just think that those wins at WFP and those events have really built confidence as well. It has to, right? It has to give you that belief. And when you're going against the top athletes, you are a winner. You are taking events consistently. You are leading from the front. So I think that, combined with her fitness anyway and her mindset, I think she's going to go to the. I hope she can go to the games.
No, the confidence is a great shout. I talked to her the day after WFP London at breakfast, and I was just thinking to myself, like, it's not just winning. It's like, that's Laura Horvath. Like, Laura is. It's not even that difficult to make an argument that she's the second best we've ever seen. And Laura's had these little rivalries, obviously with Tia with some others that would come up and drift away. It looked like it was going to be with Gabby McGowan before she got injured. But this past 15 months, it's been with Amy Kringle
Mm.
in the WFP circuit. And Amy's gotten her just as many times as she's gotten Amy. And if Amy can do that against Laura, there's no reason she shouldn't believe that she can't do that against anybody in the field this year. And there is no Tia Claire Toomey there. All of the women that are good enough must be thinking, this is the year I could actually win the CrossFit Games and change my legacy.
But and the good thing about this confidence thing is, and you had it before, but it's the knowing that you're going to win. I call it a habit. With football teams, if you win 2 or 3 games in the bounce, winning becomes an expectation and a habit. And that takes you to another level. It's got nothing to do with fitness. It's to do with being a winner, going out on the floor and going, I'm going to win this event. I'm going to win this event. And it is a self-belief that you can't just make it up. You've got to earn it. You earn it by turning up and winning and winning and winning and being in that top 2 and 3 on a regular basis. And eyes are on her now. Like, people believe she's going to go and do really well. She believes it. And Amy, if you're listening, I believe it. So we'll see what happens. It's good. It's
Let's
going to
see
be
it.
exciting. Okay, men's surprise package. I'm going to go first. I said to you earlier, sometimes my heart rules my head. And this guy, he's I've shared some conversation with him. He's a great guy, and I think he's had a tougher couple of workouts or events. I know he's putting the hard work in, but my men's surprise package, not to get a games ticket, but to go there and perform and maybe get between people that maybe he shouldn't. I'm going to shout out Toby Buckland.
Oh, yeah. UK guy.
Yep.
I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of actually just vets that you don't want to sleep on this weekend. I have them outside the top 10, but they're a little bit older, but they're very good. Mikhail Wazalowski out of Poland and Sven Jeans coming off of the heartbreak in the Far East.
Yeah.
So I don't have either of these guys in the top 10. They easily could be, but if you're one of the younger guys coming in, don't ignore those two, because if they get off to a roll and get some momentum going, they're very experienced and they could do some damage if things go well early on.
Okay, number 10. I just think, bouncing back from WFP, I want to think he's on a high. I want to think he's going to bring the confidence and that self-belief. I want to think that he knows he can deliver. My top 10, number 10 is Tom Kingdom.
He's in my top 10, but he's not number 10.
Oh, okay. You've gone higher with him. I'm glad about that, Brian. I'm glad about that.
I'll just say, we'll just talk about Tom. I have Tom 8th. I think that Tom suffered the nerves on day 1 at WFP, rebounded, and we saw more of what we should be accustomed to seeing from him in terms of what his ability to perform on a stage like that is.
Yep.
I think that the experience he had there is something that he can leave behind. He doesn't need to be feeling that same thing going into this semifinal. So I think he gets off to a better start, and he's just and can basically say the same thing about the guy I have in number 10, which is Victor Helsinghoff. Victor Helsinghoff had all top half finishes at WFP London, but only one in the top 10. And that's where I think both of these guys are going to be held back from being further up, is that they're not hitting the home runs against this field. So they're not going to suffer a lot of bad finishes, and good finishes will get you up flirting with this 10th place area.
Yeah.
But if you want to be higher than that, you need some top 5s. I don't think Kingdon and Helsinghoff have the top 5s for this field, but they're good enough to be top 10.
The workout, I think, for Tom, I think he openly said he'd find very challenging, is going to be the running workout. I think it's the first workout.
Yeah, but that's okay as long as you're good everywhere else. And the reason, and then the other question for Tom is the front squat. Like how these are some big men in this field. So I think those two will be his struggle points. I actually think he's going to do quite well on the rest of them.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's go, Tom. Shout out, Tom. Okay. Number 9, I have got in here. Smooth athlete, technically. I like him. I've got Victor Garcia Duval.
Wow, big believer in Victor coming off of WFP. I got him in 23rd. So you got some love for the Spanish athletes that I don't on this one. But yeah, Victor really impressed me at WFP. So love that you're giving him some credit there. I have Colin Bossart at the 9 spot.
Okay.
And I think that, Colin got sick at WFP, so we didn't get to see him on the last 2 days. I think Colin's one of those guys that, kind of like Victor Hoffer, like we're not seeing the best of him that often. I think that both of them would benefit from just choosing less to do. Victor's done that this year, and so far it's paid off. Colin still seems to be wanting to do all of it and a lot, and I think that's holding him back from being at his best at any of it. Still good enough to be in the top 10, but yeah, I got him at the 9.
Okay. Who's your 8?
8 is Kingdon.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. Okay, cool. So at 8, I've got what I would say is an aggressive competitor, who I think can put a lot of pressure on the field early, strong work capacity. Yeah, I've gone for Karavis.
I have all the Greek guys, Catulus, Artemis, and Karavis outside of the top 10, but
Okay.
they're all good.
Strong guys, strong
Yorgos is
dudes.
going to have he'll have some up and downs like he
Yeah.
always does.
Always does.
But he needs to have some bigger ups.
That's his aggressive side, though. Yeah, that's it. And I think I quite like that from him. Who you got at 7?
So I would say starting at 7 is where I have the guys that I actually think can make the games. So all of these guys I think have a chance to finish in that 3 spot. But at the bottom of that group right now, I have Enrico Zanoni.
Okay. Cool. I've got him, but not at 7. Okay, so I've got Callum Clements.
I've got Callum in this list as well, but a little higher.
We'll move on nicely. So at 6, I've got Fabian Benito Ceres. Technically very polished. Yeah, I think he's great transitions. Workout 4 seems tailor made for him. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Who you got?
I have a Fabian here at 6, but Fabian Hermans, actually. I think that Fabian Benito can still compete in these fields. I have him with the Greek guys and Michal Wazalowski and Sven Jeans. I have all those guys like 11 through 16.
Yeah.
So I think that the competitors in the top 10 have sort of moved past that group of veteran athletes. Fabian Hermans, if you don't know who that is, from the Netherlands, you will have seen him at Rogue last year. We had a couple of standout performances.
Yeah.
And then a couple that weren't as good. He's very strong and he's big. And I have him here at 6, right behind Callum Clements, who you just mentioned. So I kind of have those big guys just outside of the bubble.
Yeah. So at 5, I've got Enrico Zanoni. And you had him at 7?
Yeah. So a kind of similar grouping there.
Yeah. Certainly is. Who you got at 5?
5 is Callum Clements for me. So I've got Clements, Hermans, and Zanoni, and these are guys like I kind of have that as a little group.
Yeah.
Where if things go well, I think they can like potentially steal a 3 spot, but I do think that the 4 guys I have ahead of them, I think it's like a 1-3-3 type of a deal. Okay. So that's my second group of 3.
Okay. I chopped and changed this a bit. I found it very challenging.
I feel like we have the same top 4 guys. The order's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you know what? So I've got last year's champ in 4th.
Was Moritz the champ there?
Moritz, yeah.
I have Moritz at 2.
Okay.
Yes. Let's just say, okay.
It's a tough one. It's a tough
one. I feel like we might have an inverted here. I have Harry Lightfoot at 4. I'm guessing you have him at 2.
I've not got Harry at 2.
Wow. Okay. You've got Harry 3.
But I have got Harry. Who have you got at 4 then?
I've got Harry Lightfoot 4, okay. Nika Maizaradze 3, Moritz Fiebig 2.
Okay. So
tell me your 4-3-2.
In 4th, Moritz. In 3, I've got Colin Bossart.
Wow, you don't even have Nika Maizaradze in the top 10.
Yeah, like I say, my depth of knowledge might not be as good as yours. Listen, we'll see how it goes. Balanced athlete. I didn't know he was sick at WFP. I didn't know that. But
Well, even better for you, actually.
yeah, true. And then in 2, I've got Jayson Hopper.
Oh my God.
And my number 1 from the UK is Harry the Legend Lightfoot. I think he's going to do really well in that
Wow.
first workout. I think he's going to build through the workouts. It's going to be a tough weekend, but I'm going to say Harry Lightfoot number 1. Jayson Hopper's traveling a long way. I don't even know. Listen, I don't even know how fit Hopper is, if I'm honest with you. And he'll still do a great job. But you know what, Brian? Sometimes in your mind, when you're not fit and you're not 100%, it can play mind games within you, and you just end up going at 95%. Is he traveling here going, I can qualify in 3rd, quite not comfortably, but I can qualify? Is there something in the back of his head that's saying, his groin may play an issue? I don't know. However, my dollar is on Harry Lightfoot to win the French Throwdown. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, that would be incredible. And it's like, this is really an interesting conversation to me because Harry's bet entirely on himself since Rogue leading into this competition. So that can go one of 2 ways. And it's such a difficult time to be an athlete right now where, I mentioned it with Bossart. Like, I feel like given his durability, he's doing too much, and so he needs, but Harry hasn't really shown to be not durable. Like last year, he had the smoothest run of the game season he could and had I think a 12th place finish, a career best finish. And then he went to Rogue and he didn't do great there, but like he competed healthy the whole year.
Yeah.
And now he's stacked up a bunch of training without being tempted by all these competitions. Like he got invited to WFP London. He easily could have done that. It wasn't very far from him, but he said no because he's focused on this. So the risk is, how much pressure is he putting on himself for this competition? The reward is that it's a perfect run-up and he looks amazing.
But with him, again, I'm sure you know, his personality, he is so, I don't want to use the word laid back, but he backs himself. And I don't think he is that guy that really puts all that pressure on himself. He just trusts the process. And that guy can run. Like, he is strong runner. I think he will kick on from that weekend, from that first event. I hope so, but time will tell. I'm looking forward to seeing those splits and what those 900s are. But it's going to be it's going to be great.
I mean, this top 4 is even just the top 4 is full of very challenging men to beat in this competition setting. You got Harry, who I can understand people being upset if I'm picking him outside of the game spots, but this is literally the bread and butter for Moritz Fiebig. This is the competition. Like, he's also prepping for this and has been prepping for this. And these are the scenarios where he has executed and flourished over his career. He's never done well at the games. Harry will beat him at the games 10 out of 10. But in a semifinal, it's like Moritz and Elisa Fuliano. This is their sweet spot. This is where they stand out. So, and Moritz knows how to prepare for this. I don't think he's going to be nervous by the size of the field, the number of qualifying spots, or any of that. Like, he's done it and he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
The wild card to me is Nika Meiseradze, who you don't have in the top 10. Adrian Munweiler actually picked him 2nd for this. I have him 3rd. And Meiseradze is one of those guys that you just, like, he's every person's, like, F you, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, there's no way. The first time I saw him ever compete, it was a 5K row, and he rode a 16:43, I think, and he beat bigger guys than him just going away.
Wow.
The next workout was handstand walk ramp to obstacle with C2 bike, and he won the workout going away. He did ring muscle ups in a weight vest and won that workout. Now, it wasn't a crazy field. This was at Istanbul, Eurasian Throwdown in Istanbul a couple years ago. He was at French Throwdown 2 years ago in Lyon, and in a field of 40, and he qualified, and he just made every rookie mistake you could imagine. And he has made mistakes in most of the competitions that he's gone to that have prevented him from having results that are the true indication of what his fitness could be. But that's a part of fitness. So I'm basically saying here that if Nika has made all the rookie mistakes and learned from those competitions, he has put himself on some of those stages now.
Yeah.
He has competed against some of these guys. He has beaten a lot of these guys. And if he puts it all together, he's going to be tough. So I think that the most likely scenario is that somebody between Fibig, Mazeradze, and Lightfoot is on the outside looking in, and that if things go well for Clements, Erman, Zanoni, even two of those guys could potentially leave with something that they weren't counting on this weekend. All of that to say, because you didn't pick him to win, I have picked Jayson Hopper to win this. Regardless of the syndicate field or this field, I feel like he's clearly the best one in those fields. But the really interesting thing to me is that even in these last couple days, he's made a post that's referencing the groin. And why did he choose to travel and compete 2 weeks earlier if the groin isn't 100% healthy? Is he that afraid of the syndicate field? I'm not sure. So as with every competitor that shows up, no matter what, I'm always hoping that they're healthy and that they can compete well. So I'm assuming that Jayson wouldn't be traveling and doing this if he wasn't. And if he is healthy, he's the favorite to win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think he's worried about going to syndicate. If I'm honest, I think the reason why he's chosen to go to come to Europe, go to France, is actually more for a personal situation, as in growing his fan base. I think he's getting himself in Europe. He's coming here. At the moment, he's doing the podcast. He's doing loads of socials, lots on YouTube. And I think it's a prime opportunity for him to come over to Europe, go to France, and increase his following while, hopefully, he's going to try and win the semi-finals. So it might sound silly, but we've said it before that sponsorships, being well known, gaining a following is a really big part of being an athlete. And I think it would be if that is in his mind, I think it's a very shrewd move. It's a very clever thing to do because he's growing his personal value. It's his personal brand. He is the current games champion. So why not go to Europe and go and compete where he's expected to win? Maybe I'm going too far. I've got Harry Lightfoot to win it, but he's coming here expecting to win. So, that's why I think he's doing. I don't think he's worried about going to syndicate. His injury, how bad is it? Did he want to go to Mayhem? Really? I don't know. This whole Rich Froning thing, I can only surmise, but I think he's going to go there for that reason. If I'm being honest, just surmising.
Let me make an amendment to something I said earlier in the show, so there's actually 11 former individual men that have competed at the CrossFit Games that are in this field, and there's 10 of those at Syndicate, so pretty even in that regard. No, I said 14 and 11 earlier in the show,
okay,
but it's actually 11 and 10. The point is both fields are deep, both fields are going to be competitive and tough.
Listen, I'm going to send an email to you of my top 10, and we get 1 point for every correct pick in that position, and we'll see who gets the most points. Is that cool?
Yeah, my full picks 1 through whatever we have here will be going out on Instagram tomorrow.
Okay, cool. And then we can see what this was. So should we do a forfeit for the person that has the less points?
Let's do let's do
the a workout we've got to do, or
100 calorie row.
Oh yeah, I love that. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I'm a big fan of that. I did a workout. I thought that 100-calorie echo bike workout was great at WFP.
Yeah, let's not do that one. Let's do the row.
that calorie echo bike was absolutely disgusting. But you know what? At WFP, you made that as a really good visual. The camera was Laura Horvath. She was locked in. The cameraman was great. And again, from a viewer's perspective, it's a spectacle. You're watching people chase pain. They're going through mind games. Don't know, but I loved watching that event, especially after the.
No, I literally hope that he programs 100-calorie row at some point. Like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
And what we've been gathering is these what we're now calling WFP benchmarks. Like on the games profile, if I go to your page, it might tell me what your 1 rep max deadlift is and your best Fran time is, but I have no idea when you did that, how long ago that was, or if it's relevant.
It's irrelevant. Yeah.
We now have a year's worth of data. We know their max snatch, max clean, max jerk. We have a 500-meter swim, a 2-mile run, a 100 cal echo bike, their project one time, max deadlift. Like, these are real stats from the last 12 months on these athletes in competition.
Right, Brian, I know you've got a busy day ahead, dude. I really appreciate your time joining us again today. Thanks for sharing your top 10 with me. I felt as though I gave some good information there today. I didn't feel too
Absolutely.
overawed by it all.
You held your own for sure.
Thank you, mate. That was good. And we'll see how we get on with the picks. And then one of us are going to be doing a 100-calorie row, full send.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Sounds like a win. Before we go, I do want to say thanks to our sponsors. Relon, thanks very much. Fantastic. And they provide grips, knee sleeves, any gym wear. They're fantastic. I will put a link in the comments below. But otherwise, listeners, thanks for listening for an hour. It's been fantastic. Brian, enjoy the weekend. And I don't hope your picks come in. I hope Harry Lightfoot and Amy Kringle do the British proud. First place male, first place female. Who knows? We shall see soon, Brian.
The British are coming.
Thank you, my friend. Take care and I'll see you soon.